Yes guys, back in the garage again. Today we've got a 1965 Hillman Minx. This chap brought it to me, he said he bought it 5 years ago. Went to the pub, got halfway, conked out as usual, the usual pub story. He's had it, sat around kind of fettling with it for about 4 years now, and it's not ran properly since, if at all. So today we're going to dive in and we're going to see if we can find out if we can get it running and what's up with it. Now, as usual, we're going to have a quick look around. This thing's pretty cool. On the surface, it looks okay. Looks like it's had a respray at some point in the last 20 years. Nice roof on it. And inside, very 1950s, very Chevrolet. Seems around this time, the late 50s, 60s, everybody kind of tried to make all the cars look like the American Chevy Bel Airs and things with the wings on the back. Look at those wings. Super cool. Let's get the bonnet open and we'll dive in and have a look. Okay, so I have popped the bonnet. Let's see if we can get in. Like that. Yes, there we go. Righty then, what do we have? We have a battery. Looks new. No plugs. It's pretty oily down there. I think he mentioned that somebody had put lots of oil down the bores and turned the crank handle, which is in the car, and the engine does turn. We've got the fuel pump there with, looks a bit manky. What do you reckon to that? Place your bets now, guys. What do we reckon we're going to find? Got the carburetor, that's open. Everything seems to be there. Looks okay on the surface. Is that a new ballast resistor there as well? Right, let's see if we've got dash lights. Hey, we'll put the battery on first this time as well, see if we've got dash lights. Looks like it's positive earth, this thing. There's the positive battery terminal. Right, that's on. Okay, you join me just diving in. Let's see what we got on the dash. It really is cool, this thing. Look at that. Does it have a horn? Nope, no horn. Maybe the ignition has to be on. Nope, we got ignition lights. Indicators on. I don't think that stays off. Nope, horn still doesn't work. Right, let's see what we got. Nice. Well, we've got a crank. Let's go and see if we've got everything else. Okay, so we're going to do our usual methodology. Let's just set you up here. So we're going to do our usual. We're going to check fuel. That fuel looks a bit manky, so I think we'll pop the, pull the pipe and see if we've got any fuel going to the carburetor. Then I think we'll go on to, I think we'll do a compression test as well, seeing as it's been stood for such a while and the plugs have been out as well. So let's do that. Okay, so we know it's got a mechanical fuel pump on it. So I'll pull this pipe off and see what we've got. I think he said that he put some fresh fuel in it, maybe 12 months ago. But hey, a lot can change. Oh, there's some wet there. Let me just grab a little container and we'll see what we can get out of it. Oh, the good old fuel bucket. Let's pop that in there like that. Can you see that? Lovely. Right, luckily, we've actually got a starter button down here on the back of the start motor solenoid, so I can press that. We'll see if any fuel comes out. You ready? Oh, it's flying everywhere. Okay. Well, something's coming out. What does that look like to you? It certainly doesn't look like fuel. Ugh. I don't know what that is a mixture of. Look at the colour of it. It's definitely not fuel. It doesn't smell like fuel. Oh, it smells almost like terps. I think it's mostly water. It has the viscosity of water, doesn't it? Right, well, we'll have to come back to that. That's obviously not very happy, and the carburetor's obviously full of it as well, so yeah, we'll come back to that. We'll bear that in mind. So we're not going to check for a spark just yet, but we'll have a quick peep inside the dizzy cap. Obviously all the leads are off. It looks a bit manky in there, so it looks like points of condenser are all in situ. So we'll leave that there for now, I think, and just leave it clicked on. But I think the more pressing matter is wondering whether these bores are okay if it's been stood for so long. I just came around the rear just to check the fuel filler flappy situation, and it appears like water's probably got in there. If you can see all the rust, and if this isn't got a drain with all the crap there that's blocked up, this could have filled up if it was stored outside or washed or something, and water could have seeped in. Yeah, you can see it's all rusty there. I think that's what's happened. I reckon this is filled up and water's got in the tank. Okay. Our tank looks easy enough to get to when we need to. It's only a strap there and it should come right out. Right, back to the compression test. I've managed to get the big light on because my torch just decided to run out. So I'm going to move some of these things so we can get a nice clear look of what we're dealing with. Like we said, compression test first. It turns over. It looks a bit manky down there, to be fair. I don't think this has run very well recently. But hey ho, we'll do a compression test when I can get it in. All we're going to do is screw this into the spark plug holes till it stops. Give it a little nip. And then we can check out on our gauge how much compression each cylinder's got. Okay, no spark plugs are in. And luckily I can hold this and show you because I've got the button right down here. What are we betting? Place your bets now. Okay, what's that saying? That is saying 100, just touch over, which isn't great. Screw her in. See what we got on number 2. Very slightly better. What's that? 110 psi. It's turning over well, I suppose. Nothing too worrying just now for a car that's been stood for so long. Into number 3. And fire. Oh dear. Let's make sure that's in properly, because we're getting 0 psi there. Try again. Nothing. Oh dear. Okay, so we've got absolutely nothing on cylinder 3. That's a little bit to be worried about, isn't it? I'll just go into number 4 right at the end there. Let's see if we've got something on number 4. Are we ready? Oh dear. And number 4 is only 30 psi. Oh dear. Where do we go from here? What do we reckon, chaps? Is it dead? Should we dig in and find out? Let me know before I do it what you reckon it might be and why it might have happened. Oh dear. I think I'll take the rocker cover off and we'll have a look at the valves. Oh, I almost forgot as well. If you fancy a cool t-shirt, on the last video I had my Real Cars Have Carburetors t-shirt on. This week I've got my Vordy's Classics t-shirt, and it's actually got my own design, which is a DeLorean kind of 1980s looking thing. Pretty cool t-shirt. You can click down below if you fancy getting one. Okay, so what could be our problem? Not great compression on 1 and 2, 0 compression on number 3, and only 30 psi, which is pretty much pointless, on number 4. I'm going to take this rocker cover off and see what we can find. Looks like there's only 4 flathead screws on this actually holding the rocker cover on. How did it not leak back in the day? It probably did. Okay, last screw coming out. Then we've got the moment of truth. Let's see if we've got any damage. Okay, the moment of truth. Here we go. Rocker cover off. Whoa, what's that? You already know what it is. It's the Vaudreuil's branded beer mat. Chuck us a little like down below. Comment what you reckon's wrong with this. Have you spotted it already? Give us a little subscribe too, if you can. That'd be really nice. Okay, let's get up close and personal now. Number 1 looks okay, push rods are okay. Number 2 again, okay. Oh, what on earth is that? Is that a bent push rod? Oh, there's another push rod flopping about there as well. Oh dear. I'll just turn it over a little bit. Get that push rod down. Ah, there we go. That's why we've got no compression. You see that? That valve is actually stuck down. That should be up here. And the push rod's just flopping about. I think we've got some pretty bad damage on this engine. What do you reckon why that's happened? How has that happened? Is it hydraulic? Has there been water in the cylinder and it's hydraulic? Has that valve rusted and stuck down and corroded? Including this one as well. Well, that valve looks pretty much level with that one. So, oh, and that push rod feels bent. It won't go back into the tappet there. What would cause that to bend? Oh dear. It's a sad day in the Vaudreuil's Classics workshop. I'm not sure it would be responsible to try and fire this up. If you came for a fire up video, unfortunately it's not going to run. But what we can do is we can let the chap know exactly what we've found and see where he wants to go from it. I'd really like to know what's gone on with this valve. I think it's probably rusted or bent. For what reason we don't know. Obviously we've not had a look inside the engine. You know, I'm not going to take the head off or anything without any sort of authorization, and it's probably not something I would undertake either. But I'm just wondering why that valve's stuck down and why that push rod is bent. That does have 30 psi compression on number 4, so it's obviously doing something, but why is that push rod bent? Real shame. It looks like this car needs a little bit more work as well. The clutch slave's leaking, the clutch master cylinder is sticking, all the brakes look pretty old and tired. I don't think anyone's been in there for 30-40 years, unfortunately. Obviously the fuel tank, as we saw, is full of water as well, so that'll need attention. Yeah, we might be not onto a winner this time. Usually I'm driving out of the workshop going, way! But I think with this one, like I said, I think it'll be irresponsible if I did try and fire it up. I think if I did chuck some fuel in the carb and connect and put the spark plugs back in, and if it had a spark, I reckon it would splutter to life. But I'm not going to do that, just in case there's any further damage. If the chap wants to go ahead with an engine rebuild at some point, get all the brakes sorted, I'll speak to him and find out what he wants to do. But yeah, sorry chaps, no fire up on this one. I think what I'll do this time is just box it back up, make sure everything is as I found it. Obviously put the rocker cover back on, put the fuel pipe all back on, leave everything as it came to me, and the chap can decide what he wants to crack on with, whether this car's worth saving, whether it's worth just putting in a corner and collecting some parts before going ahead and giving it a little recommissioning. The bodywork is great. It's a real shame because on the top it looks fantastic. But then obviously when you dig inside and the engine's pretty damaged, it's a real shame that I can't drive it out of the workshop for you today. It'd be really cool if you've had experience with these engines, what you think might have gone wrong there. I think at the very least it should, if the chap would like to, you can take the head off and inspect damage. Inspect inside the bores, see if the pistons and bores look okay. If it's been stood for this long and there's damage like that, no doubt there's some bottom end damage as well. You might get away with it, it might be okay, it might just be the head that's damaged, but yeah, let's go and finish off. You win some, you lose some, unfortunately. I almost didn't put this video out because obviously it's not got the big payoff that everybody wants where I fire up the engine and drive it out of there, but I just thought I'd throw the video up anyway. Hopefully you've made it this far. If you had, nice one for watching. I just thought I'd show you that sometimes not everything works out. Hopefully it's been an interesting video anyway. We found some pretty major mechanical damage and a bit of a mystery as to why it's actually happened. So I'm going to speak to the customer, see what he wants to do. Hopefully he'll go ahead in the future and fix it up because, like I said, the car's actually a really nice car. It really is. It's a little bit crusty underneath and it definitely needs some brake work, clutch work, electrical work maybe, fuel tank out, new fuel in it, fuel lines maybe. So yeah, it's got quite a big list. But I think it probably is worth saving. I'll speak to him and see what he wants to do. Other than that, I think we'll finish off here. Nice one for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.